In order to save his girlfriend Liu Ruyan, who he had been in love with for 10 years, he became a vegetative state and fell into a coma. After Liu Ruyan woke up, her memory was confused and she only remembered every bit of my 10 years with her. The protagonist was changed to Ji Boda, a man who had been pestering her for many years and was despised and hated by her. She wanted to marry him like crazy. When she mentioned me, she would only say that he just saved my life. Did she want me to marry him? Not long after, I woke up and remembered everyone, but I didn't remember Liu Ruyan. This time he panicked. Fang Yuan, look at you now, how pitiful you are. Yin Yin is mine. You will never have another chance. You can only rot in bed in this life. It's a pity that you can't come to witness our happiness. This is the voice I heard in the chaos of my consciousness. I only know that my girlfriend who I have loved for 10 years is getting married. After I sacrificed my life to block the flying car for her, and after I became a vegetable, she wanted to get married, but that person was not me. Liu Ruyan, you are crazy, your boyfriend is there. And the man who proposed to you is now lying in bed and his life is uncertain in order to save you. You want to marry another man. Although I have become a vegetable, I still have a sense of the outside world. For example, I can hear their fierce quarrel in my ward clearly. It seems that something was hit by my hand. Liu Ruyan was very emotional. Since this is his ring, I will give it back to him. Ji Boda and I have been in love for so many years. Have you all forgotten it? Why should we be intervened by an outsider? Is it possible to accept a male mistress? He just saved my life. Does he still want me to marry him with my body? Are you all sick? I'm telling you today that I will not marry anyone other than Ji Boda. If you insist that I marry this stranger, I'll die to show you that I'll keep my word. What is he talking about? What stranger? We are clearly a couple who have been together for 10 years from campus to society. We have experienced so many ups and downs together. No matter how difficult it is, I have persisted. I can finally marry her. Why do you say I am a stranger? During the turmoil, Liu Ruyan's phone rang. Hello Ada, I'll be back soon. Liu Ruyan, where are you going? Liu Ruyan was stopped and got angry again. Ada's depression began to attack again. I must go back to accompany her, otherwise she will do something stupid. The mess of thoughts gradually became clear. Ji Boda is the man who has been with Liu Ruyan since high school, and he can't be driven away. His depression has been very serious since high school, and he has always been the target of being excluded and bullied in class. He regarded Liu Ruyan, who appeared by chance and saved him once, as his only light, and it was love at first sight. Even if he knew that Liu Ruyan already had a boyfriend, he would still shamelessly say that it doesn't matter, I can wait. Who can say for sure about feelings? Maybe it will be my turn. But my feelings can be said for sure. I only want Liu Ruyan in this life, as long as he is willing to have me. No matter what happens, I will be by his side. The implication is that even if Liu Ruyan wants him to be a male mistress, he is willing. He really doesn't even want face anymore. Now I am forced to be a male mistress. In the 10 years between Liu Ruyan and me, he will be there wherever I go, no matter what Liu Ruyan and I do. Whether watching a movie or shopping, he followed behind without saying a word. Sometimes I would look back and see him mumbling something. His dark eyes stared at me, as if he wanted to kill me, which was creepy. When Liu Ruyan looked at him, he would return to his normal appearance. Liu Ruyan scolded him many times for this, but it was useless. We can't do anything to a person with depression. After all, he just followed and didn't do anything else. After all, he was just a poor man, so we could only endure it. What Liu Ruyan didn't know was that Ji Boda came to me privately many times. He always said, Fang Yuan, don't let me find a chance, otherwise I won't give Liu Ruyan back to you. The last time we met was probably a few days ago. At that time he looked weirdly excited. He kept repeating a sentence. I found it, he is mine, he is mine. I just cursed inwardly that I was sick and left. Liu Ruyan left regardless of the obstruction. Why do you force me? I love Ji Boda. Why do you want me to stay with a stranger? Liu Ruyan was so excited that she choked, and because of my intense emotions I felt like my soul was out of my body. Call the doctor quickly with a beep. A Yuan's heartbeat almost stopped. Am I going to die? At this moment Liu Ruyan's cell phone rang again, and everyone was looking at me nervously. Only she was gently comforting the person on the other end of the phone. Ada, calm down first. I swear I don't have any ideas. I only love you. I want to marry you and not anyone else. How can someone marry the person who saved him because of the grace of saving his life? Isn't that a brain broken? Don't worry, I'm going back now. A strong hatred grew, and I tried desperately to wake up and question him. I asked him why, but it was no use. My consciousness was gradually fading away. As Liu Ruyan left, the door closed and my consciousness completely disappeared. I opened my eyes with difficulty, and what I saw was a large group of people surrounding the bed, looking at me excitedly. A Yuan woke up and I saw my mother's eyes instantly red, and she threw herself on me and choked with tears. I wanted to ease the atmosphere, so I smiled weakly and said, Everyone is here, everyone? I didn't expect that everyone in the room fell silent instantly. My dad's friends Uncle Liu and Aunt Lee said awkwardly, Yuan, don't think too much. Yin just called him back because of something at the company, and she will come to see you soon. Auntie will call him now. If he knew you woke up, he would be very happy. Uncle Liu and Aunt Lee didn't even give me a chance to speak and they called me. As soon as the call was connected, they started scolding me. Although I didn't know who they were scolding, I have never seen such a gentle and gentlemanly couple. Yes, couple looked so angry. The person opposite must be a talented person. When I mentioned it to my parents, they looked at me strangely for a few times, but they hesitated and didn't dare to ask. This attitude really made me confused. After the call, the room fell into a very strange and silent atmosphere. Just when I couldn't stand it anymore and wanted to say something, the door of the ward was suddenly opened, and a white handbag suddenly flew towards my bed. He woke up, so what? Can I come here to make him walk briskly? Do you know that Ada finally had a good sleep, and it was almost disturbed by you? I was still lying in bed and couldn't move. I couldn't hide. The bag hit my leg solidly and I groaned. Damn, whose girl is this? Did she go to the wrong place? I don't know why did you just come up and hit me? It hurt so much, I wailed, and all the eyes in the room were instantly focused on me. I don't know why, I saw a little disbelief and panic in the eyes of that arrogant girl, and I was subjected to various examinations and interrogations for the whole afternoon, until the doctor made a conclusion that I had selective amnesia. I remembered everyone but one person. I even felt that I was talking nonsense all my life, because I felt that there was nothing wrong with my memory. It was very natural and smooth. It was impossible that I was sure that I had not lost my memory. I was fine. You are my father and this is my mother. Those are Uncle Liu and Aunt Lee who have watched me grow up. Perfect memory, right? What's the problem? The hot-tempered girl named Liu Ruyan just stood there and watched coldly. There was also, standing in front of the man who arrived not long ago and said he came to see me, but in fact, he has been looking at me with a show-off look. Liu Ruyan snorted coldly, isn't that just right? I said I don't know him. He is just a kind-hearted person who saved my life. He doesn't know me either, we have nothing to do with each other. It's you who insist on saying that he and I are engaged. I think we should go to see the people with disordered memories. It's you. The man named Ji Boda lowered his eyebrows and pulled Liu Ruyan's hand. Yin, don't say that. Liu Ruyan raised her chin towards me, then shook hands with Ji Boda. Since there is no problem, Ada and I will leave first. I plan to hold the wedding next month. If you don't want to, don't come anyway. I'm going to get married. No one can stop me. He pointed at me, especially you. Don't think of using the grace of saving my life to ask for forgiveness. Hold me. I pointed at myself in surprise. You listen to my advice. Don't be too confident. Too much confidence will cause trouble. Your situation can be called a sissy. You'd better be more restrained, he retracted. His fingers then clenched them into a fist. Good and better. I feel that I have fallen in love. The river. I have been dreaming at night recently, and I always dream of the figure of the same girl. We hold hands sweetly, hug and kiss in the dream, but after waking up I can't remember her face. I always think that it is the matchmaker who sees that I have been single for so many years and can't stand it anymore. So he finally has a kind heart and wants to tie the red thread for me, because I didn't even go out of his way to look for her. I met a girl who matched the figure in my dream the first time I saw Bai Ningbing. I felt that she must be the girl that the matchmaker hinted at me in the dream, and I was very natural to her. It was love at first sight. It always takes some effort to chase a girl. When I met Liu Ruyan again, Bai Ningbing and I were at a very ambiguous stage. We were more like friends than lovers. She and I made an appointment to watch a movie in the cinema. When she went to the bathroom, I actually ran into Liu Ruyan. When Liu Ruyan saw me, she was very impatient with Fang Yuan and even followed me. Aren't you disgusting? Didn't I tell you that the relationship between you and me is just that of a rescuer and a rescued person? Why don't you give up? You have seriously affected my daily life. If you continue like this, I will call the police. Do you believe it or not? As he said that, he actually took out his mobile phone and made the action of calling Shushu. After a series of moves, I was stunned. I carefully pointed to my head for fear of hurting his self-esteem. Excuse me, I want to ask, is there something wrong with you? Is it paranoia? You have to treat it quickly, otherwise you won't like yourself after a long time and want to kill yourself. It's too dangerous. TSK. Before I finished speaking, Liu Ruyan was suddenly hugged in someone's arms. Ji Boda looked at me defensively. Are you trying to seduce my sister? My sister and I have been in love for 10 years. You are not the kind of person who can seduce her. I almost laughed out of anger when you led her away. Are these two people really a family? They are not from the same family. The woman thinks about being loved by someone every day, and she loves him to death and wants to stalk him. The man thinks about the woman being snatched away by someone every day. My rating is really 6. Fortunately, at this time, Bai Ningbing came out of the bathroom and suddenly threw herself on my back. Yuan, I'm fine, let's go to the movies. I took a shower. What happened? Yes, in all the time we've known each other, I've never heard Bai Ningbing be so intimate with me. Ji Boda rolled his eyes and muttered, he's just a playboy. It's so easy to find the next one. But Liu Ruyan's expression became complicated in an instant. She frowned at Bai Ningbing, then turned to me. Who is this? You found a girlfriend so quickly. I rolled my eyes and naturally took Bai Ningbing's hand. I asked Liu Ruyan, Uncle Liu, the captain of the security team in the community where we live, is with the aunt from the neighborhood committee. Did you know that? She continued to frown. You're a man who gossips so much. What does this have to do with me? I'm asking you a question. I sneered. Then what's my business if I'm in love? You're so nosy every day. When a sow in your community gives birth to piglets, don't you have to ask a few questions too? Are they male or female? You've really eaten too much salt. I'm so idle, take care of yourself and look in the mirror more often. On the way to the cinema, Bai Ningbing held my hand and was silent for a long time, then looked up and asked with a smile, is that your suitor? Yuan, I was a little confused about his question. No, he's just a stranger, not even a friend. Why would you ask that? Bai Ningbing shook his head. My intuition has always been accurate. The way he looks at you is too complicated, with both entanglement and reluctance. He looks at me with anger, as if I had snatched her boyfriend away, obviously my boyfriend. I didn't care about Bai Ningbing's first two sentences, but the last sentence really touched my heart. Bingbing, what did you say? Say it again. Bai Ningbing covered her face shyly. I felt that you were too charming. What if I didn't agree and was snatched away by another girl? I was so excited that I picked up Bai Ningbing and spun around several times. When passers-by passed by, I proudly announced that I was Bai Ningbing's boyfriend, completely ignoring the pair of angry eyes behind me. Who cares? When I got home at night, I received a friend request from Liu Ruyan. As soon as I agreed, he came in and questioned me. Are you really together with him? Don't you think his temperament is very similar to mine? Are you trying to use your life-saving grace to threaten me to marry you? Are you starting to look for a substitute meal? I was silent for a while, then typed quickly. No, just the 2 points of Puexian and living in the Pacific Ocean. He will never be as good as you in his life. There was no news from there. I thought this person was too weird and had to stay away from him. The progress between Bai Ningbing and I developed very quickly. I brought her to the family gathering of the two families, and Liu Ruyan also brought Ji Boda to the gathering. Ji Boda was only concerned with showing off his affection with Liu Ruyan in front of me in all kinds of pretentious and exaggerated ways, but Liu Ruyan seemed very absent-minded. I don't know why Ji Boda thought that I would have any feelings for his fiancée. It was really inexplicable. Liu Ruyan stared at Bai Ningbing with no kindness the whole time, which made both of us very uncomfortable. But the elders of both families were present, and it was difficult to get angry. Bai Ningbing whispered in my ear, Yuan, let's go out for some fresh air. He's looking at me so annoyed. I nodded and said I would go with you. When we got to the terrace, Bai Ningbing put his hands on his waist, raised his head and began to question me. Fang Yuan confessed honestly, this couldn't be some childhood sweetheart or some rotten peach blossom that you hid from me. The way he looked at me today was as if he wanted to eat me. This is outrageous. Didn't he say that he is the adopted daughter of Uncle Liu and Aunt Li, and he has hardly seen you since childhood? I quickly raised my hands in surrender. I swear that everything I said is true. I have never been attracted to girls since I was a child. It was only when I met you that I had a belated puberty. Bai Ningbing blushed and shyly hit my chest. What puberty? What are you talking about? You are not serious. I grabbed her hand and whispered in her ear. Don't you understand what puberty is? Let's try the atmosphere light tonight. Bai Ningbing was thin-skinned. Even if it was just the two of us, he was shy. He jumped into my arms and started hitting me. I grabbed his hand and took advantage of the moonlight to lower my head and kissed her. We were laughing and joking, and the atmosphere was very good, but the door to the terrace was suddenly opened. We both turned our heads in surprise and saw Liu Ruyan. He stood at the door with an angry face and eyes wide open. I might have thought he was here to catch me cheating. I muttered something for no apparent reason. The good atmosphere was disturbed. I felt disappointed and annoyed. He walked up to us and said coldly to Bai Ningbing, who was hanging on me, "Come down." Bai Ningbing was not someone who could be manipulated by others. She was a timid person. The hand he held around my neck tightened even more. "Excuse me, ma'am. What position do you have to talk to me like this? I'm Fang Yuan's girlfriend. Who are you?" Liu Ruyan's air pressure was terribly low. He repeated it again. "I'll say it again, get down." Bai Ningbing frowned slightly. "What's wrong with my boyfriend hugging me? It's in your eyes and no one is forcing you to look." For no apparent reason, I don't know which nerve of Liu Ruyan he touched, but he suddenly started to pull Bai Ningbing. Bing, then her eyes turned red and she yelled, "Can't you hear me when I told you to get down? Fang Yuan is my boyfriend, he's mine, you bitch." I quickly protected Bai Ningbing and pulled Liu Ruyan's hand off Bai Ningbing. Because the force was too great, Liu Ruyan was brought to the ground with a bang. I thought I had a very good temper, but I was also angry at this moment. "Liu Ruyan, are you fucking sick? If you are, go to the hospital for treatment, don't fucking get crazy here. Who the hell is your boyfriend? You have delusions, right?" Bai Ningbing was scared, and at this moment she buried her head in my arms and sobbed softly. I quickly raised my hand to pat his head and coaxed him softly. Liu Ruyan also collapsed. He supported himself on the ground with his hands, looked up at me, his voice choked with sobs and said, "You are obviously my boyfriend, Fang Yuan, my boyfriend, and that's how you coaxed me before. Every time I was sad, you held me in your arms like this to comfort me. How could you fall in love with someone else? How could you?" I frowned even more when I heard it. I really couldn't help but want to swear. He must be mentally ill. I didn't even know you before. How could he be your boyfriend? I'm serious. I really feel that you were in a car accident, and there is something wrong with your brain. Why don't you go to the hospital? I suppressed my anger and spoke kindly. Suddenly a gloomy boy appeared. "Sister, what did you say? My head hurts even more. What is this?" Ji Boda stood in the shadow. The whole person looked gloomy, just staring at Liu Ruyan. "Sister, we have been in love for 10 years. What are you talking about now? I am your boyfriend." Ji Boda suddenly turned around and glared at me. "Is that right? It's you. Did you say something bad to your sister? Did you hypnotize her?" Ji Boda became furious in an instant, and even picked up the red wine glass on the terrace table and smashed it at me. I was afraid of hurting Bai Ningbing, so I turned around quickly and blocked the red wine glass with my back. Although the red wine glass was not big, it was still painful when it hit the flesh. I groaned, and a surge of anger arose. I put Bai Ningbing steadily on the ground, then rolled up the sleeves of my shirt. "Bing bing, don't look at this scene, it will probably be a little bloody later." I raised my foot and kicked towards Ji Boda. He had thin arms and legs like a thin dog, and he was very powerful when he scolded people. I kicked him out and he flew farther than anything else. He fell heavily to the ground and also alarmed several elders in the living room. My mother hurried over. "What happened? This is Yuan and Bing Bing, are they okay?" I shook my head and picked up Liu Ruyan from the ground again. Then I carried them to the gate, one in each hand like little chickens, and threw them out without saying anything. Idiots should stay away from my house. I'm afraid of being infected. Uncle Liu and Aunt Li were both shocked. Yuan, what happened? I took a long breath, then exhaled heavily, forcing myself to speak calmly to the elders. Uncle and Aunt, I suggest you go to the hospital and report Liu Ruyan to the psychiatric department. I think she is mentally disturbed. She actually said that I am her boyfriend. Uncle Liu and Aunt Li looked at me with embarrassed expressions. Yuan, do you think it is possible that Yin Yin is really your girlfriend? She may have just had a car accident and temporarily forgot about you. Now that she sees you with someone else, her body instinctively lets her go. She remembered a little bit, and I said coldly, it's impossible, no matter what the situation. I can't like such an impolite woman, let alone let him be my girlfriend. Liu Ruyan outside the door turned pale instantly. She struggled to get up, but was held down by Ji Boda. Sister, you are my Uncle Liu and Aunt Li wanted to say something but were rejected by my parents. At the beginning, it was Yin Yin who said that she and Ji Boda were true love for 10 years and wanted to marry him. Our Yuan really forgot and we were willing to help him. Now a Yuan has found someone he likes. What does he mean? You can't have it all. Uncle Liu and Aunt Li's faces turned bad instantly, and they left in a hurry. After that day, Liu Ruyan sent me many WeChat messages and I couldn't bear it anymore, so I blocked all his contact information, and also I asked my parents to let him in less often, so I kept quiet for a while. The next time I heard news about Liu Ruyan was when my mother gave me a wedding invitation, saying that Liu Ruyan and Ji Boda were getting married. Liu Ruyan asked me to make sure it was delivered to me. I looked at the two names on the wedding invitation, and I didn't feel anything special. I just sighed. This infatuated man and resentful woman, the man is abnormal, and the woman is abnormal too. If they get married, whoever becomes their neighbor will be unlucky for 8 lifetimes. I must be careful when buying a house. It is safe to stay 800 miles away from these two people. At the wedding scene, I always had a bad premonition as soon as I entered the venue. This premonition was confirmed not long after. As soon as Liu Ruyan entered the venue, she stared at me sitting in the audience with a hopeful light in her eyes. I felt uncomfortable and basically didn't do anything. After looking at him straight in the eye, Ji Boda maintained his outward gentleness and politeness, but in fact the look he gave me was as if he wanted to kill me. I felt uncomfortable all over and was ready to leave early. At this time the host had already reached the stage where he asked if we were willing or not. Ms. Liu Ruyan, are you willing to accept Mr. Ji Boda as your legal husband? Ji Boda was probably very excited and I guess he was about to cry. But Liu Ruyan was silent for a long time, so long that the host tried to smooth things over and asked again, Ms. Liu Ruyan, are you willing? Liu Ruyan suddenly shook her head, looked in my direction, and said firmly that she was not willing. For a moment, everyone in the room was shocked, and some people stood up. What was going on? Ji Boda turned pale in an instant, and Liu Ruyan ran towards the stage with her skirt lifted up. I was sure it was in my direction. I regretted that I ran too late just now. Now it's good. I was at the center of the storm, and everyone's surprised eyes were on me. The children whispered, asking me if I was going to rob the bride. Liu Ruyan looked at me with tears in her eyes. Yuan, I regret it. I shouldn't have pretended to have a disordered memory and distanced myself from you. I just didn't see my own heart clearly for a moment. I thought I was tired of you, but I found that I still love you. Will you marry me? Yuan, I really know I was wrong. Can we start over? What does this have to do with that? He said that he was pretending to be mentally ill, but I think it's more real than real gold. Some people around clapped their hands and said in a tone of watching a good show, it was indeed a bloody plot of robbing a bride. There is a good show to watch. Let's see who will get the beauty. I just looked at Liu Ruyan strangely. After a moment, I said in the classic tone of a certain celebrity, you're crazy. Then I raised my hands in surrender. I've been passing by all the way. You let's go on, okay, and then quickly run away. The 3 ducks ran very fast. Liu Ruyan burst into tears instantly and wanted to pick up the wedding dress to chase me. Feng Yuan, come back. But the wedding dress was too heavy and he couldn't run fast at all. Finally, he tripped and fell to the ground, and the wedding ended in a bad mood. I heard that Liu Ruyan had disgraced the Shi family. After all, it was he who had been clamoring to marry Ji Boda, and now it was he who regretted ruining the wedding. During this period, Bai Ningbing and I rented a house outside and looked for a wedding house by the way to avoid any possibility of meeting Liu Ruyan, but I don't know why, I was still found by Liu Ruyan. When Bai Ningbing and I went out that day, he was standing at the door with tears in his eyes, followed by Ji Boda with a gloomy face. We were both shocked. When Liu Ruyan saw me, she rushed up and hugged me. Yuan, I finally see you. Yuan, I really love you. Yuan, I was just obsessed for a while and thought I was tired of you. Yuan, we can definitely go back to the past, right? I quickly pulled Liu Ruyan off me. I really don't know you. Please stay away from me, okay? Ji Boda clenched his fists and kept muttering behind me, how could this happen? What exactly went wrong? Liu Ruyan was not discouraged and began to count on her fingers, recounting to me the so-called past between him and me. From the major events in the past 10 years to the car accident, it was very detailed and vivid, and it really didn't seem to be made up. After Liu Ruyan finished speaking, she looked at me expectantly. After I listened, your story is wonderful, but it's none of my business. His expression dimmed instantly. Bai Ningbing came with his arms folded, watching coldly, and suddenly asked, you mean you from beginning to end there is no memory disorder at all, and there is no such thing as mistaking the male protagonist of your 10-year journey for someone else? It's all just because you feel you are tired of it. It's the same person for 10 years. You wanted to change to a new taste, so you pretended to have a memory disorder, and then this gentleman, your loyal bootlicker, just made the best of the situation and acted better than you, really thinking you were the protagonist of the 10 years. Now you see that a Yuan really has lost his memory, Really forgot that you really fell in love with someone else. You panicked, scared, and regretted it, so you ran to Brother Yuan to ask for reconciliation. Bai Ningbing's tone was gentle, and you couldn't tell that she was angry at all. On the contrary, because her summary was so perfect, Liu Ruyan nodded repeatedly. Liu Ruyan even regarded her as a close sister for a moment. She held her hand and said, "Sister, you understand me. You are so good at summarizing." However, Bai Ningbing smiled slightly, then shook off her hand saying, "Bitch." Not cheap. These 4 words made Liu Ruyan dumbfounded. You and this lick dog are really unique. It's a pity that your wedding couldn't be held as usual. After all, in my opinion, you are a perfect match. Bai Ningbing finished speaking and took my arm again. You treated our Yuan as a garbage recycling station. Liu Ruyan was stunned and couldn't speak at all, and Ji Boda wanted to defend her, but was retorted by Bai Ningbing as soon as he opened his mouth. "Hey lick dog brother, I'll give you a poem and I don't know where it went." Ji Boda was stunned for a long time before he reacted. "You said I was shameless." Bai Ningbing shrugged. "No, I mean, do you have it a Yuan? I know you don't remember anything now. It doesn't matter. I'll wait for the day when you remember. I believe this day will come soon. The 10 years between us are not comparable to the short half a year of outsiders. You come back to me, I'm always here." I just told him to get lost. After I kicked Liu Ruyan and Ji Boda out, I turned to look at Bai Ningbing, who was squatting on the ground. He had lost all the strength he had just now and buried his head in his arms. I walked towards him and squatted down as well. Bai Ningbing suddenly raised his head. His eyes were red. "Hey Fang Yuan, I'm warning you, if you really remember and want to go back, I will definitely leave more coolly than you." I didn't expect Liu Ruyan to come true. One day, I accidentally slipped while brushing my teeth and hit my head. I was sent to the hospital. When I woke up, I felt an overwhelming amount of memories flooding into my mind. I suddenly remembered everything about Liu Ruyan during the past 10 years. Turned out to be him. But I just felt like someone had forced the memories of him into my head for 10 years. I hated it so much. Bai Ningbing looked at my confused eyes and suddenly his eyes turned red. He stood up and wanted to leave, but I hurriedly got out of bed and hugged him from behind. "Don't go, Bing Bing, I love you." I only told my parents about everything I remembered about Liu Ruyan, and no one else knew. My original intention was to prevent Liu Ruyan from making trouble when Bai Ningbing and I were getting married soon, but I forgot that my mother and Aunt Li were close friends, and she still let it slip. So at this moment, Liu Ruyan was wearing a white wedding dress and smiling. When the host asked Bai Ningbing if he was willing, she answered yes and then walked towards me. It was really hard for me to resist throwing it out. Bai Ningbing was so angry that she was so moved that she held back her tears. Liu Ruyan walked up to me with confidence, and I realized that she didn't even know the price of the wedding dress. The style is the same as Bai Ningbing's. Liu Ruyan found that I was staring at her wedding dress. She showed me her figure in the general direction, and while showing it, she said coquettishly, "Yuan, do I look much better in this wedding dress than she does?" I curled my lips and said, "You think too much. I have already said that Pushing has a bad courage. Of course, my wife Bing Bing looks the best in it." I emphasized the words wife Bing Bing. Liu Ruyan's confident look cracked a little, and then returned to normal. "Yuan, don't be stubborn. Don't I know you? Every time you make a mistake, you are stubborn and unwilling to admit your mistakes. Now that you remember everything, do you still want to talk to me like this? My patience is limited. This play is enough. What's the point of being stubborn with me? I know I was wrong, but you have been with other women. We are even now. Now kick him out and marry me. I should be your bride." I can feel that Bai Ningbing beside me is trembling all over. He must be afraid, so I raised my hand. Liu Ruyan raised her head confidently. "Security, security, there is a lunatic on the stage. Please come and clean it up. How does your company do things? I must complain to you today." Liu Ruyan's expression finally cracked. When being dragged away by the security guard, Liu Ruyan would not give up. "Fang Yuan, it was me who had been with you for 10 years. Why can I let go just like that? Fang Yuan, you should love me the most." Liu Ruyan shouted and turned into crying. "Yuan, I love you." I was just confused for a moment, and I turned a deaf ear to him. She exchanged rings with Bai Ningbing amid the applause. Those who abandoned me yesterday cannot be retained. Seize the present and face the future with the one I love is the most important. As for my current opinion of Liu Ruyan, I can only say that what Bai Ningbing said at the door of my house that day was right. I am not a garbage recycling station. I am a national treasure keeper, exclusive to national treasures, I whispered in Bai Ningbing's ear, and she hit me with a red face. I was too happy to get married, which caused me to forget a very important thing. When Bai Ningbing and I finished the wedding banquet and were about to go home, we just walked out of the door and heard a gloomy questioning voice, which made my heart start to beat faster. "Fang Yuan, are you? Do you know my plan? Do you know that he was hypnotized by me and his memory was disordered, so you found a solution to make him recover? Ji Boda is also a clown. He was kept in the dark by Liu Ruyan for so long and thought that he had really succeeded in hypnotizing her. In fact, Liu Ruyan was just pretending, and he is now still in the dark." I pulled Bai Ningbing behind me to protect Fang Yuan. "You already have a new girlfriend. Why are you still not willing to give Yan in to me? Why did you want him to recover his memory? He is my light. I finally waited for him to contact me. Why did you ruin it? I was so close to marrying her. It's all your fault. Why did you show up? You ruined my wedding. Why do you think your wedding can be perfect?" Ji Boda became more and more excited as he spoke, and then he suddenly pulled out a fruit knife from his sleeve. A cold light flashed and I was shocked. I protected Bai Ningbing in my arms, but time was running out and I avoided it, but the expected pain did not come. I heard the sound of the knife piercing the flesh, Ji Boda's panic shouts, Yan. I looked back, only to find that the fruit knife in Ji Boda's hand had already pierced Liu Ruyan's abdomen, and Liu Ruyan fell to the ground and hit her head again. He looked at me with tears in his eyes. "Yuan, I'll give you your life. I pursed my lips and silently called the emergency number and the police. The scene was in chaos. Bai Ningbing was still in shock. I hugged her to comfort her. Liu Ruyan looked in my direction, wanted to say something and finally fainted. Ji Boda was sentenced to 15 years for intentional injury, and Uncle Liu was a lawyer. He was also taken care of in prison and needed to be taken good care of. Liu Ruyan suffered a severe head injury and was initially diagnosed as brain dead, that is, a vegetative state. She may have to lie in bed all her life without any life, or she may suddenly wake up by a miracle like me, but the hope is extremely slim. When I knew all this, I had just returned from my honeymoon in Northern Europe with Bai Ningbing, and I could only sigh that cause and effect is cyclical. The end.